Hi, and welcome to Distance with Wax Buffalo. I'm Alicia, and this is
Navy.
Navy is my daughter. She is 9, and she is joining me today for a very special episode of Distance. We are talking to Letura of Lincoln, Nebraska, an incredible artist and photographer, and she is the mastermind and dreamer behind Art Bus LNK, which is a bus here in Lincoln. It's beautifully curated for kiddos to do tons and tons of beautiful art. And you're here because, do you like art?
I love art.
Tell me your favorite art.
I really like painting, but then my favorite is probably trying to make homemade stickers.
Oh yes, she does like making homemade stickers a lot. And she's obsessed with the Art Bus, and we've been talking about doing this episode together for a long time, right? So today we're going to teach you how to make your own cute kiddo candles, and then we're also going to hear Letura's story and just how she got started becoming a photographer, and then how she built this beautiful, dreamy art bus for children here in Lincoln. Letura, I'm so glad you're here. Hi.
Hi.
I'm so happy you're here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Navy. And she's here because we are very excited to talk about your Art Bus project and all of the cool things that you're doing for kiddos in Lincoln right now. And we have a fun kid candle project, right? Can give a preview. Yeah. Before we get to that, I wanted to hear just a little bit of your story, because Art Bus is not the only thing you do, but you're a fantastic photographer, and I've stalked you sufficiently, and you just the most beautiful work. So will you talk a little bit about your background, how you got into photography, and how you kind of started the business?
Yeah, so I was a criminal justice major at UNL. I took an art class and really just fell in love, honestly. And then from there, I took a bold decision. I decided to drop out of school to pursue the art field, photography, full time. And that was
like a very true artist. You're like, I dropped out of school and I became an artist, and I like that a lot.
Right. And it was definitely, a struggle as expected. But here I am. I do wedding photography full time with Art Bus LNK on the side, and it's been an amazing journey, and I'm happy to be here.
Now, do you mostly focus on wedding photography, or do you do I was going to say graduation photography, senior photography, and families and things like that as well? Or what's kind of your favorite thing?
My main focus is wedding photography, just because I love it. And it takes up a lot of time, so it's really like the only thing not the only thing I'm able to do, but the only thing really my schedule allows for me to do. Just because I do a couple different things during the week, so being able to focus on wedding stuff over the weekend definitely fits into my schedule.
I love that. I think too, like, you get so close with your wedding photographer because it's such a intimate thing that's happening, and you trust them so completely, and it's just such a special relationship, I think, between
Yeah.
It's such a very cool job. Now, did you grow up here in Lincoln?
Yeah, kind of. I was born in Nigeria and moved to Lincoln when I was 2, so I've been in Lincoln pretty much my whole life.
Yeah.
And Lincoln is all I've ever known, really.
Yeah. Which I just feel like you have such a heart for Lincoln, which that makes a lot of sense. Like, this is your home. I moved here, I think it's been 13 years ago, but I just love this city. I fell in love with it, and yeah. What made you want to go into criminal justice first? And then what do you think? I think that's such a cool story, but that had to have been a very hard decision to be like, I'm changing my world.
Yeah. So I growing up, I've always had people tell me oh my gosh, you talk a lot, you should be a lawyer, you should do this, and it was really just that I'm like, okay, well, people think I should do it, I might as well just go for it. And my dad has his PhD in the criminal justice related field, so he was just like, oh my gosh, yeah, you're just like me, go for it. And that was honestly it. I had a love for criminal justice and working with students in the detention center, but just actually being in that field and pursuing it, I just realized, like, in the middle of it, like, I love this, but this is not quite for me. I felt a little restricted in that field, you know?
Yeah.
So I decided, I have come to love art and I love working with the youth. Why not figure out a way to mesh it all together?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And I feel like it's come to full fruition, which takes us to your very first question, Navy. Would you like to ask? She wrote them down for you. Okay, ready?
What does Art Bus do?
So how did Art Bus, you want to say it a little louder?
What does Art Bus do?
How did you get Art Bus started? And will you tell me the rundown of like your dream for Art Bus?
yeah, so I, at the time, I was working at Lincoln High with behavior and special needs students. And I also ran an after-school art program with some of the students in the school. And, towards the end of the semester, I asked the students, I was like, well, this is the end of our semester together. As you transition into summer, like, do you feel like you have access to, art opportunities in your neighborhood? And if you do have access to it, is it affordable? And a lot of the students were saying, like, no, like, there aren't really a whole lot of art opportunities in my neighborhood. And they're all, and if they are available, they are pretty pricey. So from there, I kind of sat down and I looked into, different art programs in Lincoln, and we do have quite a few, but they're, in clear South Lincoln or North Lincoln, not a whole lot in Central Lincoln. So I felt those kids were missing out on a lot of, art opportunities. So I figured, why not figure out a way to bring art programs directly to kids rather than having them figure out ways to come to us. And that's how Art Bus LNK was born.
It's so cool. And it's not only is it like a program that's like available to kids, it's like glamorous and fun and full of color. Like, you just did it so well. And I feel like I'm jealous that I'm not 9 and I can go in there and pick. Although I did see you're doing like a adult one, right? Like a sip or something.
Yeah, we had a lot of people. When we first launched, we had a lot of people say, like, are you planning on doing anything for adults? And I was like, I don't know. But, we decided to put together a sip and paint for adults. And we have our first one coming the 20th of this month, and it booked up like this.
I know.
Shocked to see so it's been super fun planning that whole thing out, because it's one thing to plan something for kids, and it's another thing to plan something for adults. So it's been interesting putting that together, but it's been a lot of fun, and I'm super excited.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's going to be really, really fun. So talk us through just a little bit of like when a kiddo comes to Art Bus, like what can they expect? Like, do you teach an actual class, or do they get to just kind of play? Or take us through the experience just a little bit.
So with this summer and COVID, we were trying to figure out a way to go about providing the art opportunities for kids, but keeping it safe. So we decided to stick to painting, just because it's easier to clean up, sanitize, and whatnot. But we treated it as like an open art studio. So kids were able to come on and create whatever they felt like creating. There really wasn't like a limitation. Because, art is what you make it. And I didn't want to limit the kids on like what they should or shouldn't paint. But it's been a lot of fun. We play music on the bus, so kids are able to jam out and do some painting, and it's been an amazing, amazing experience. And I was a little nervous going into it because I'm like, kids are honest, so I really didn't know what to expect. But they love it, and I love that they love it. Just, it feels good to finally be here. It was a 2-year process to get the bus, funded and unrolling, and to be able to be on the bus and jam out with kids and paint with kids. It's just, I love it. It's been amazing.
It was like a long time coming, right? Will you talk about too, just like how'd you find the bus? And then you collaborated with some other artists in town, right? To like make it cute and get it set up and get it funded. Will you tell a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I started fundraising for the bus spring of 2018. And honestly, I just kind of like jumped into it. I created like a GoFundMe and told people like, this is what I'm wanting to do. I don't know how I'm going to go about doing this, but I need help from my community. And I was honestly surprised at the amount of people that were just like, oh my gosh, like, this is needed. It's one thing for me to think like, oh, this is something that should be in the community, but to have like the support from people in the community saying like, I agree with you, like this needs to happen. It was amazing, but it was a lot of fundraising through GoFundMe, a lot of research trying to figure out the best bus to buy, where to get the bus. I took a little break from fundraising because it was nothing really was happening. I just kind of felt like things were at a standstill. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to take a break and then just kind of see where this goes. And I was scrolling on Facebook one day, Facebook Marketplace, and I saw this bus for sale. I was like, oh my gosh, like, Letura, are you really about to buy a bus off of Facebook Marketplace? Like, that's a little risky. But I went to tour the bus, and it was perfect. Like, the guy selling the bus, he was planning on turning it into a party bus. So we had the seats out. He put some flooring in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this is perfect. Perfect. Because in the planning process, I was trying to figure out, like, you know, the goal was to raise about $4,000 to purchase the bus and to renovate it, because a lot of the cost would be like taking the seats out, working out like the existing flooring and putting new flooring in. So we were halfway to that goal, and I got a little discouraged. I was like, don't think this is going to happen. But the bus I found on Facebook, it was almost like the exact cost of like what we fundraised. The seats were out, the floors were put in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this is my bus.
It was like destiny.
And I just kind of dove into everything from there. Purchased a bus October of 2019, and then took that time from October to June of 2020 to transform the inside, painted the outside on my own, painted the inside, and we held a little mural like application to find students to paint a mural outside the bus, and we found perfect people to do that. So that was that. Yeah.
So cool. It's just so cool. Well, we have a little project. So we always make a candle on distance, right? But because it's you and Art Bus and Children's Center, and that's why Nate's here, we are going to do these little Eco Kid candle kits. You get to make 7 of these little tiny candles that kiddos can make on their own. So Nate's gonna unpack and kind of start that project for us, right? And while you're doing that, what are ways that we can support you still? Like, what do you still need for Art Bus, or what are ways that we can rally around what you're doing and help raise you? Because it's rad.
We're still so brand new. We launched the 14th of June. So our focus right now is getting the word out. Like, not a lot of people know about Art Bus LNK because we're still, so fresh. So we're just looking into different ways to get the word out, to let people know, like, this is available for, our community. Like, if you would like to collaborate and figure out ways to bring free art opportunities to your neighborhood or to your location, to your business, organization, whatever, we want you to know that we are here and we want to help make that possible, because that's our #1 mission. So just definitely spreading the word, getting people to know that something like Art Bus LNK does exist in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Oh yeah, you're cutting your wick. Will you tell us what you're doing?
Oh, I'm cutting the wick so that it's the right size to do the candle.
And then what does your candle look like? That's how it starts. And then you're going to roll it into a little candle, right?
Like a carpet.
Yeah, like a carpet. That's
Wow.
We've been talking about doing a fun little art bus pop-up at Wax Buffalo. So we're hoping to get you in the Haymarket, right?
Yeah, I would love that.
Me too.
Mhm.
Mostly just selfishly because I want to get on there and do some coloring. Good job. Maybe we can have some little candle kits on the bus.
I would like to own my own business someday. Do you have any advice?
Yeah, I love that. My advice is to, if you have a plan, run with it, regardless of what other people may say. If you know it's something you want to do, take your time and invest time and energy into making it happen. Surround yourself with good people, good friends that are willing to support you, to help you make it happen. That's the foundation, I feel, of trying to run a business, is to surround yourself with people that really want to see you succeed, really want to see you win. So it's good to surround yourself with positive energy, but invest your time, your energy, your free time into figuring out ways to make your dream a reality, because it'll happen, and it can happen if you're determined to make it happen.
Oh, that's some very good advice. What kind of business do you want to have someday?
Just like a business where I make a ton of stickers and necklaces.
Oh.
Like this.
Ooh, I love that.
Well, this has been so fun having you on today. Thanks for being a part of our little distance. Thanks for letting us make a cute little kid candle with you. And
Yes,
these will, of
thank you
course,
for having me.
oh, it's been so wonderful. And it's just fun to hear your heart and your dream. And I feel like Lincoln is in love with you. And the more that everyone gets to know you, the more that that's going to happen. And so we'll happily help spread the word if it helps. And then, of course, we're going to sell these kits on the Wax Buffalo website. And as usual, the proceeds from the sales will go to the Lincoln Food Bank, which I just feel like we both talked about that, right? Just kind of needed it now. But I just wanted to thank you so much. This was so fun. I can't wait for our pop-up. It's going to be so fun to do some art together soon.
Yes, for sure. I cannot wait.
Me too. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, have an amazing day, and we'll see
You too. Bye.
Bye, Letura. Say bye. Thank you.
Bye.
I am working on one of these candles. Let me finish up and then I'll start over again.
So what is this part? Oh, okay, this is a finished one.
So you roll it up now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's 7 of these. You
And what
take
is
one
this?
of these. So this is your wax sheet.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of wax is it?
Beeswax.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, tell us the next step.
Okay, so you have to cut your wick a 1/2 inch longer than this sheet of wax is. I have already done that, so this, I don't do it very correctly because I use my fingernail.
I think that's a good method. Perfect. So you have to hold it on there really tight, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
The beeswax is pretty sticky and flexible. So
Okay.
you hold it on.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Okay, and then you want to get this, like the edges, because you want to put just a little bit off the edge, and then take these parts so that you fold it over so that it's secure.
Oh, that's how you get the wick to get sticky in there?
Mm-hmm.
Smart technique.
And then you just get to rolling it up.
These are so cute. And I think in the kit, you get 7 of these, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you get to do 7 little candles. And we've tried burning them, and they burn really well, right?
Yeah, they
Yep.
also last a while.
Yeah, and they smell good. They smell like kind of like honey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then show us your finished product. Ta-da! Which I think these would be really fun to do in the art bus too, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So when we do our Wax Buffalo pop-up, we will have kits like this for kiddos to do. We're donating them to the art bus because I think it'll be really fun. Do you think you could help instruct how to make candles in the art bus? Yes. Okay. What a super fun episode. We had a little bit of Zoom issues, so it's a little crackly, but worth it. I think both of us cheered when we made it to the end. What do you think? Did you love her?
Yes, she was awesome.
Yeah, she's so great. And I'm excited to do a little art bus pop-up. Yes. Yeah. So we're definitely going to be having her out at Wax Buffalo soon. And just thanks so much for joining us and hearing about just some of the incredible creative things that people are doing here in Lincoln to make our community better. We live in such a special place. Thanks for spending a little time with us. Thanks for letting Think Navy. Thanks for joining us for this special episode. Bye. Do you have any advice before we go?
Don't press too hard on your crayons.
It's good advice. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
You're ridiculous.